Here's another word problem that we can use to practice that partial quotient division strategy that we had to do for our math message. So this problem says Dylan needs 72 muffins for a party. The muffins are sold in boxes of 4. How many boxes does Dylan need? So first we have to ask ourselves, what do we know? What information is this problem giving us to help us solve? So we know that Dylan has 72 muffins for a party. That's what he needs for his party. And when he goes to buy them, they are sold in boxes of 4. They're sold in boxes of 4. So what we want to know, what do we need to find out, is how many boxes does Dylan need to get enough muffins for his party? So if I was going to write this as a number model with a letter standing for that unknown quantity, it would look like this. 72 divided by 4 equals B for boxes. So first you want to do is let's estimate. We're going to estimate how many boxes do we think Dylan needs. Are there any numbers that are close to this 72 and 4 that we can do in our head to easily solve? So take a second and figure out what estimate you can make that was close to this. Okay, the estimate that I'm using, because I can do this very quickly in my head, is actually 80 divided by 4. Because I know if 8 divided by 4 is 2, and there's 1 0, so 80 divided by 4 is 20. So this is going to be my estimate. I think he's going to need around 20 boxes, somewhere around there. Okay, we can solve this problem very similar to how we did the math message using that partial quotient box. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what my rectangle would look like. So we're not using this for area, but you can use a very similar strategy. So he has 72 muffins that he needs, and he has boxes that only come with 4 muffins in them. So we're trying to figure out how many boxes does he need. So I'm actually going to take this and make it smaller so we can keep working on our screen, but keep this in the back of our mind. So I'm going to put it up there. Okay. So now, what multiple do I think that is close to 72 that I could easily do in my head? So the first multiple that I think of is 4 times 10. And if I did that, remember this is still 4. Four times 10 will give us 40. And I know I could use 40 because 40 is less than 72, which is the total number of muffins that Dylan needs. So let's see if we can actually go a little bit higher. What if we did 4 times 20, which is 80? Could we use 4 times 20? No, right? Because we know that 80 is bigger than 72, right? And he only needs 72 muffins. He's not going to buy any extra any more than 72. So let's start with 10. 4 times 10. So 4 times 10 gives us 40. So here's the 4, so we put the 10 here. Now remember, we have to subtract from that total to see how much we have left. So 72 minus that 40 will give us 32. Is there a number that you can divide 4 into 32 that's close? It's close to 32. Take a second and think about that. Okay. What I choose to do was 5. I thought 5 was pretty close because 4 times 5 is 20, right? And 20 is less than that 32. So now I'm going to subtract 20. So 32 minus 20 leaves you with 12. Okay? So we had that 72, and we made 10 boxes, which gave us 40. So then we were left with 32. We made another 5 boxes. Now we're left with 12. So what can we do? What can we multiply times 4 to give us 12? So again, this is where your math facts are really, really going to come in handy so you can start doing this kind of stuff in your head. So 4 times 3 actually gives you 12. So I'm going to subtract 12 from 12, and I get 0, right? This is the number that we want. We want to try to get as small down as we can when we divide till we hit 0. Sometimes we might have a remainder, something left over, but in this case we don't. So now you have to go back and you have to add all of these partial quotients that you came up with. So you did 10 boxes at first, then you multiplied by 5, then you multiplied by 3. So you get 18. So if you divided 72 divided by 4, you would get 18. So Dylan needs 18 boxes of 4 cupcakes to reach 72 muffins for his party. Hopefully this is starting to make a little bit more sense. We're going to do one last example that I'm actually taking straight from your math journals on page 198, number 1. So if you want to follow along with me, you can. Okay, so there are 6 pencils in each pack of pencils. How many packs can be made for 96 pencils from 96 pencils? So we want to figure out how many packs do we need to have 96 pencils as our total. So let's talk about what do we know. So we know that we have 6 pencils in each pack. And we're trying to figure out how many packs do we need for 96 pencils. So I'm first going to do the number model with unknowns because I feel that's easier to come up with. So we have 96 pencils, and we need to figure out how many groups of 6 could we make. So we need to divide. Gives us, I'm going to put a P for packs, our unknown value. Now let's estimate. What could be a good estimation that's close to 96 divided by 6? Something that you can easily do in your head. Remember, multiples of 10s are much easier to do in your head than a different number. So I'm actually going to estimate if 100 divided by 5. Okay, that's going to be my estimation. And we know that 100 divided by 5 is 20. Okay, so now we're going to do the partial product using 96 divided by 6. So I'm going to draw my rectangle again, and I know that I have to make groups of 6. Now I'm going to think to myself, is there any group of 6 that's close to 96? Remember, those 10s and 5s are really easy to do in your head. So I'm actually going to try 6 times 10, which gives me 60. And I know that I can do 60 because 96 is greater than 60. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do 10 times 6 equals 60. So I know 10 times 6 is 60. So don't forget to write your total over here so you can keep track. So we just use 60 of those pencils to make 10 packs. And I'm going to subtract, and you should be left with 36. 36. So what could you multiply by 6 that'll give you that 36? And it is a doubles fact. So you can do 6 times 6 will give you 36. So I have no pencils left over, no remainder. And don't forget to add these. And you get 16. So that shows us that 96 divided by 6 will give you 16. 16 packs of pencils. And actually, my estimate was correct because 20 is pretty close to that 16, which was our answer. So now you're going to complete numbers 2 through 5 on your own. If you get stuck, leave me a comment on Google Classroom and I can try to help you as best I can.